15-year-old Mark was leaning over his desk, intently watching a YouTube vid, when his 18-year-old sister Nancy knocked on his doorway and asked him what he was doing. "Are you playing a game or watching another one of those prepping vids?" she inquired. "Prepper vid. I really don't know what you got against them. I would rather be learning something about surviving in this world than trying to do it in a fantasy game," Mark said, tired of having to validate why he liked prepping as his favorite hobby. "Well, seems kinda gloomy and doomy to me. Anyway, your other prepper buddy Jack from next door said for me to ask you to help him put up the lawn furniture. He said we had some windy weather coming our way soon," she replied, looking at his monitor screen to see what he had been watching so intently when she had come to the doorway. "What in the world is a dollar store survival kit contest?" Nancy asked while arching her eyebrows in confusion. "You have a hypothetical $20 to spend at a Dollar Tree or wherever as the only rule to play the game. Then you make a list of what you would buy to sustain you 72 hours at home or in a shelter, or you try to include different things for a woodland survival kit. It's pretty interesting what some people come up with," Mark said excitedly, at the least glimmer of Nancy's interest in learning more about prepping. "I thought that the 72-hour kits or woodland survival kits listed in the catalogs were kind of expensive. I saw some in those catalogs you left lying around for Mom and Dad to pick up and get hints from," Nancy replied as Mark reached over and clicked on a tab on the computer screen. "Basic survival isn't about how much you spend, not at all. It's about how much knowledge you have on hand for solving something by improvisation and realizing other uses for something besides what it was made for. The prepper and survivor-oriented old internet forums and websites are full of contest entries to look over and compare community knowledge and advice on the list contents they posted. The idea is to put together a survival kit that costs no more than $20 total. The kits would be evaluated on how well they met the basic needs in the following areas: fire, shelter, signaling, first aid, tools, repair, bag, container, etc. For the last couple of weeks, I have been reading and researching all different types of survival kits. I have been comparing what's in those expensive pre-made commercial kits in catalogs and on websites to what I have already assembled for myself from Walmart and the dollar store. I have come to the conclusion my stuff is way cheaper and better quality than anything I could buy pre-assembled," Mark said proudly. Mark was at that special time on the path to prepperdom where one seems to spend every waking moment on the internet researching or thinking about prepping and finances. He wondered why what he called the old-school preppers didn't do these types of dollar store contests anymore. He certainly had been learning a lot, and there were new products and ideas he could have contributed as an entry to try to win something in a contest if he could find one going on. He figured that maybe since everybody had already done these types of contests 100 times before, it was probably now boring to the seasoned preppers. He sure would have liked to have some of their advice, though, on things he had included in his own gear. A lot of those old preppers were pretty ingenious, almost MacGyver-like in their resourcefulness to make the game more intriguing and versatile. One of the better exchanges of wisdom he had witnessed was Lowbuck Prepper pitting his knowledge of prep purchases against a survivalist blogger named Randall. When the contest got down to the wire, Lowbuck blew Randall away with 2,000 uses for WD-40. Randall did have a neat entry, though. He had put Murray's beeswax pomade on his list for the cost of $2. He had demonstrated how to use it as a fire starter or as a grease lamp. He showed he could cover a wound with it, use it as lip balm, lubricate his weapon, etc. with it. However, he couldn't come up with near the uses Lowbuck had for his small can of WD. Mark had added cans of both to his preps. That hair pomade stuff could give you 400 minutes of light for $2. He had seen it in a YouTube video a while back and was constantly dreaming up other applications for it. Mark's original concept of creating some kind of 72-hour kit was based on having something in hand is better than nothing. And he also, at that point of his travels on the road to prepperdom, was geared more toward a smaller incident that may have required him to leave home and go to a public place for shelter or transportation out of an affected area. As his knowledge grew, though, so did his preps.